Welcome, everybody, to the continuation of the evolution series. And today I'm going to be showing the evolution of the gnome hideouts slash buildings. Basically, this is just the evolution of the gnome base throughout Rifto Hills. This is not including the current chapter, Chapter 2. So basically, all these buildings are from Chapter 1, from Rifto Hills. So anyway, let's just get straight to it. So the first gnome building, or first version of it, I should say. This is like basically the beginning of it. This was like, let's say, the beginning of season 5 of my story map. Basically the first season I ever started recording on. That's where this is from. Not many of you remember it, because, you know, that was a while ago. So yeah, nothing too special about this, it's just plain as of now. Alright, this is the gnome hut, or not gnome hut, gnome hideout from season 6 of Rifto Hills. As you can see, this was also around the time the primal season started in normal BR. So to feel inclusive in that season, I made a primal themed ramp truck to go along with the current state of BR. As you can see, this was also when the gnomes were developing the ramp car. You know, if any of you remember, this car had the ramp on the back instead of how it usually would with the front. Let's see, nothing too very special here. Then this is where things started getting interesting, so this is sorry, can't talk. This gnome hideout was in season 7 of Rifto Hills, where things really started getting interesting with their storyline. This is when they were planning the prison break. If any of you remember that from season 7. They blew up the police station to break a gnome out of, well, jail. As you can see, they're planning that right now. And the two OGs, you may all remember, as well as Mr. Cone Crumpet. Yeah. Continuing with the season 7, with this one they added a radar dish, and then this one they added a second radar dish. And this is when they all left. So these two, the secretary and the head of this group, were like watching them as the whole prison break was going on. Next one is basically after they destroyed the factory, which is over there. I'll get to that in a minute. The factory they were using to ship out supplies, like illegal supplies. And also got more equipment added to their hideout, as you can see. Also, this used to be the whiteboard with a mothership on it. They were studying this because this was also during season 7 of BR. You can see the correlation here. And these would have been the two pictures of the unidentified people, except they turned to ghost posters in the removal of Chapter 2. And yeah, as you can see, this car isn't working, so they had to push it in with a forklift. And I also brought this truck over here, which was the one they were using to ship out supplies at the factory. And yeah. Then this happened in the same season, or not the same season, in Chapter 2, Season 8. Or not Chapter 2, Chapter 2, Season 8 of BR was when, you know, the whole abductors crashed onto the island, and we got the abductors in creative. A remaining abductor from when the mothership got destroyed went over to this island and abducted the gnome building, as you can see. There was a lot more to this, I just didn't copy everything. I just wanted to get this stuff over, the key parts of the abduction. As you can see, it basically just ripped the thing out of the ground, and the gnomes just got launched back. It's just ripped out of the ground, as you can see. say this was season 8 of my story map, I believe. Moving on, this is the start of, this was at the beginning of season 9, which was truck warfare. After the gnomes escaped with the ramp truck, sorry. After gnomes escaped the ramp truck, they ditched it because, you know, it's evidence of a explosion, if you all remember that. So they basically just ditched it and left it to rot. Moving on, this was chapter, or season 10 of my story map, or season X. One of the pipes was used to create a bomb to, you know, destroy the island because they had to. And more, as you can see, more grass grew around it as well. This building was the new gnome hideout, whatever you want to call it. And this was introduced in the beginning of season 8 of the story map. And this, they were creating a neurotoxin, like a toxic bomb, or whatever you want to call it that. As you can see, they were growing neurotoxins without any hazmat suits on, because, you know, that's safe. And you got gnomes guarding the front of this building, because, you know, it is very restricted access. And as you can see, this was the truck that they were using to transport the neurotoxin bomb in. Later on, this is like the final map change of season 8. This is when they were saying goodbye to their companions of the Gnomes group. As you can see, the iconic trio. And this was the ramp truck that they used to escape and, well, eventually ditched, as you can see. And everything inside was packed up, all their supplies and stuff. And they destroyed most of the evidence they used to grow the neurotoxin. Coming here, this was in the beginning of season 9, Truck Warfare. This is when they, like, packed up all their equipment and, like, scurried away because the FBI was trying to hunt them down. Anyway, moving on, this is the factory they used to ship out illegal supplies. This was like one of the first states of the building, and of course they had to destroy it because the police were onto them. So they burned down the building, and this was the aftermath of that. And then they had to destroy more of the evidence because they're very close to coming to their hideout. Or not hideout, the factory. So they hijacked a tanker truck and then placed it inside the remains of the factory. They also put the car that they used to hijack the tanker truck in here as well to destroy that too. And they put as much gasoline in here as physically possible. And this would lead to a massive explosion destroying everything here. And yeah, that is it. This is the evolution of the gnome hideout and just gnome buildings in general. And this is for Rifto Hills. This is not for chapter 2 as well. I will be doing a separate video for chapter 2 eventually. Anyway, that is it for the video. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one. Adios.